Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to bring you a weekly recap, this time of the Go Home show for Monday Night Raw, which took place on April 13th in Sacramento, California, and we are now just 5 nights away from WrestleMania 42. Adam Pearce and Papa H kick off the show from the center of the ring. Adam says he once again has a contract in his hand and says that both Brock and Oba need to sign separately to make sure that no further brawls ensue and to ensure that this match will take place this weekend at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman then brings out the Beast to give us another spoiler that Brock will conquer Oba, and after this weekend, we'll no longer remember Oba's name. Our first match of the evening sees Charlotte Flair going one-on-one with Lyra Valkyria. This continuing to build hype for that Fatal 4-Way Women's tag title match coming up this weekend. After Bayley lost to Alexa last Friday, kind of switch up the roles here. This is a nice little match here. Lyra and Charlotte have some nice chemistry here, and the ending comes with some revenge as we see Bayley help Lyra, as obviously that was how Bayley was cost her match on Friday. Lyra gets a roll-up victory of Charlotte, tempers Flair after the match, pun intended, and these two teams kind of show that they clearly are ready for their title match this Saturday. But for what we got, this was a good enough match at hand. Our next segment of the evening has our women's world champion, Stephanie Vaquer, making her way down to the ring. She was going to be interviewed by Kathy Kelly, but Liv Morgan ends up attacking her from behind to take out both Vaquer and Kathy. Another brawl between these two. Not much time for these two at all. Like I've said in weeks past, though, they're absolutely making the most out of every second they get, because while the story isn't anything special, we're making fun of each other's mothers and upbringings and how we got to the business, but the animosity between these two is full throttle, and dare I say one of the best, if not definitely the best on the women's side that we've seen so far on our build up to WrestleMania. So that's called making the most of every opportunity. The next match of the night has the Usos and LA Knight ahead of their 6-man tag match scheduled this Saturday up against the Vision and iShow Speed, going up against MFT's JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and Solo Sikoa. Noted by commentary that Tama Tonga was not there until he was. He does actually end up showing at ringside, and this ends up causing enough of a distraction until LA Knight hit a BFT and get the win for him and the Usos. So decent enough match, pretty quick actually. But regardless, clearly the MFTs have a lot going on internally, and they have a 8-man tag match with the White Six this Friday, and then obviously the Usos and LA Knight kind of ramping up, getting ready for their matchup against the Vision this Saturday. The next segment of the evening sees the ring done around Gunther in the center of the ring, not by himself for long though, as Rollins does come in and attacks Gunther from behind to return the favor of what has happened the last couple weeks. Rollins says at WrestleMania, Rollins is going to finish the job. Another mention of Heyman here in this kind of weird, unusual, very unnecessary, you could argue, bit, because Heyman is a pawn in yet another storyline going into WrestleMania 42, and these two men fighting on its face, in my opinion, is more than enough. But regardless, although a quick bit, this little brawl made it feel like both men have something to prove here, that they have high stakes, even though they really don't. But regardless, this match on his face should be good enough. No issues here. Our next match of the evening has Io Sky going one-on-one with Kairi Sane with Asuka. A decent back and forth here that sees Io getting beat yet again, surprisingly. Asuka does get involved, of course. Rhea comes down to help Io, but Rhea's WrestleMania opponent Jade Cargill shows up as well to help Asuka get rid of Rhea. And just like that, Io seems to be causing more harm than helping Rhea, so interesting bit there. But just kind of continuing the things between Rhea and Jade. Not much there outside of just some brawling. But the continued storyline between Io, Asuka, and Kairi doesn't appear to be taking place, at least yet. I think a lot of people kind of thinking that they could be the replacement to the Bellas if they don't end up being healthy. I think that match would have been fine as a three-team title match at Mania. But regardless, maybe we'll see that match between Asuka and Io take place at Backlash, because that is one I was looking forward to. Next segment of the evening sees Adam Pearce and Papa H back in the center of the ring once again to sign the contract the Beast signed earlier. The fans serenade Oba, and then Paul Heyman appears at the top of the entrance ramp. Paul says he's been in the industry his whole life and has never seen someone be over with the fans quite so quickly. Paul, being the weasel that he is, says that after he's conquered this Sunday, that his door will always be open. Oba quickly shuts down Paul's offer and then goes on to say, while once again being serenaded by the WWE Universe, that he will conquer the Conqueror at WrestleMania. Our next matchup of the evening sees Javon Evans and Dragon Lee going up against Rusev and JD McDonough ahead of their Intercontinental ladder match this Sunday at WrestleMania. Dragon Lee ends up getting the win here in what's a very fast-paced, back-and-forth match, as we might expect from the opponents here. Dragon Lee gets the win after landing a Styles Clash. And Rusev, after the match, isn't here to pick up W's. However, he's here to try to weaken his opponent, sees the opportunity, and very much takes it. He tries to increase his odds for winning that IC champion. Ray comes down to kind of, I guess, help or maybe get a piece of Rusev, but he is quickly shut down by the Bulgarian Brute himself. Penta then comes down, and he too is shut down by Rusev. Rusev passing out beatings here for free, and if you believe in the go-home curse, then we're all doomed. But one thing's for sure, this match absolutely has potential to steal the show on Sunday. Once again, our main event segment of Monday Night Raw, our OTC, the 2026 Men's Royal Rumble winner, Roman Reigns, makes his way down to the ring. Roman gets out and acknowledged me before CM Punk makes his way down to the ring. And just like that, both men's entrances take 2/3 of their allotted time. Continuing the trend of I just don't like these guys main eventing, but I understand, they are the main event, so yeah, I understand. But Punk says that he's here to respond to that political-like campaign that Roman rolled out at the beginning of the show. Their back and forth here is decent, not the worst, but definitely not the best. Punk says he hates how Roman was handed everything and how many times Roman has been able to main event WrestleMania. Roman says he hopes fans chant his name 10 years after he leaves, but then also goes on to say he's taking his title back at WrestleMania, and then we can return this place to what it was. So, basically the whole point of this saying, I think respect given to each other, but also making sure that they know that they hate each other, and then kind of showing, they're not lying, because they were saying, I think the whole point of the political thing was saying, yeah, there's a bit of truth in all these lies, and they were kind of playing on that a bit. Like I said, decent, not the best, not the worst. But make of that last statement what you will. This feud definitely has its ups and downs. Our go home show of Raw is now in the books. Definitely better than your average go home show, but then again, it is the go home show for Mania, so it should be a little bit better. Some decent matches in here, I guess. Nothing too crazy though, with everyone getting that last final push before. Now we have left now is SmackDown, which is basically treated like a pre-show to Mania these days, and then WrestleMania 42 itself. But what did you all make of this episode of Raw, and what is your excitement level for WrestleMania? Please let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're a fan of this video and or what we're doing over here at The Push. We'd love to hear from you. We have a couple of extra videos coming out this week. Of course, with it being Mania week, we have a couple of episodes of If We're Being Honest, where we're going to discuss the builds to WrestleMania. That should be a fun, topical couple of videos as well. And then, per usual, we will have the WrestleMania predictions, one for night 1 and one for night 2. So looking forward to those videos here in the upcoming days. But until next time, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you soon. Take care.